to the Dice Tower.
All right, thank you, Amy. All right, I'm Tom Bass, and with me today is my co-host Holly, and we're talking about my top 100 games, and we are down to the top 10 now. Today we'll be talking about numbers 6, numbers 5, and numbers 4. Now, I don't have much time, and there's a lot of gaming goodness amongst these, and we're actually talking about more than 3 games, and you'll see why in just a moment. Let's start about talking about number 6. Now, I kind of cheated here with number 6 because I actually have 3 games that are tied for number 6. I really cannot tell you which one of these games I like better. Last year I said it was one of them. This year I really find them to be the same. These 3 games are, the first one here is Memoir 44. The second one is Battlelore. And the third one is Command & Colors Ancients. Oh, I guess it would help if I held it right side up. Command & Colors Ancients. Now, this is not everything for all these games. Actually, Battlelore, I've managed to squeeze everything into that box. Memoir, I actually have everything inside a Memoir carrying case. And Command & Color Ancients actually takes 3 boxes for me to fit everything inside there. So that's a whole lot of stuff. And why do I like them so much? Mostly it's because these games are all designed by the same person and all use the same system. There's actually another game that uses the same system, Battlecry, but for some reason I just don't enjoy that one as much as I enjoy these 3. All 3 of these games are great. Now there are some differences. Command & Colors Ancient uses blocks with stickers on each side, and you can see those and how those work. There's tons of blocks. In fact, that's why I need 3 boxes. Blocks in all of them for all the different armies and expansions. Memoir 44 and Battlelore each come with miniatures. And you can see, here's an example of a Memoir tank. And when it comes to that, I like Memoir and Battlelore better, because I like the miniatures more than I like the blocks, although I do like the blocks. Battlelore, actually like Memoir a little bit better than all of them, because Battlelore's miniatures are all gray. Memoir, you can see the differences between the sides. In Battlelore, you use flags to tell the difference. So Memoir, I guess, wins when it comes to components. When it comes to deep, straight-up strategy, then Command & Colors Ancients wins the day there. Command & Colors just really has a way to, the whole ancient thing where you're marching your army across the board and another player just really works well. And the Roman armies, the barbarians, the Greeks, the Persians, they all have different feels and different strategies. And especially when you use the epic version, just that whole sweeping feel of marching your army, making sure that not to let your line break, because just like real life, once your line broke, you were in some serious trouble. So when it comes to strategy, I think Command & Colors is the best. When it comes to ease of play, Memoir is the best, although I thought it was almost too easy and too simple. But this year, the Air Pack was released, which brought in airplanes, and they also came out with these sheet maps, which aren't really that good of quality, but what you can do with these is easily set up a game, easily set up a scenario. And so, I don't know. See, last year I said Battlelore was the best because I was really enamored. Battlelore has a magic system that the other games don't have, and I really enjoy how there's cards and different ways you can manipulate that magic on the battlefield, or different tactic cards that you can have. And it seems like Battlelore might have the most variety in the long run. But Memoir simplicity, add it with the slightly increased complexity from the Air expansion, really brought that up, and I just can't get over, whenever I play this, I really feel like we've recreated the battle. Some people think all 3 of these games don't do a very good job at recreating history, and they're not real war games. These are games. These are about war. They are real war games, and I don't care if some snob comes and looks down at me for using cards and dice to play these games. They're fun, and I'll be playing them 10, 20, 30 years from now, introducing dozens, if not hundreds of people to these games with lots of success. You can't get better than that, and that's why these games are my number 6. Number 5, as I move some of these off the table here, number 5 is a game that used to be my number 2, and it only moved because there's some better games. And this game is coming out in just a few weeks, a new edition of it, so who knows, it might move back up again, but that's Cosmic Encounter. Now, Cosmic Encounter is one of those games that many people have been able to play over the last, have been able to produce over the last years. This is Avalon Hill, and this one's almost a decade old now itself, and this one is actually my favorite version for components. Inside are some spaceships, and they sit inside this larger spaceship attacking people. But this isn't actually a straight-up Avalon Hill game. I actually have 2 boxes. of the Avalon Hill game so that I could play with 8 players. And I actually have Mayfair stuff included in here. So this is a hybrid between Mayfair and Avalon Hill. Now, I'm very much excited about looking forward to playing the Fantasy Flight version, which is coming out. Because Fantasy Flight, let's face it, they make the best components, and they make expansions. And this game is all about expansions. It's all about powers. This is one of the most unbalanced games in the world. You know, you'll be playing with one person whose power is multiplication, another person whose power is drawing cards, extra cards from the deck, or always having a 7-card hand. And there's just so much involved, and your power may seem stronger than my power, but if I can convince the other people to play against you, I can still win the game. And you will never play the same game of this twice, especially if you have the full version. I have about 100 different aliens. You can play with 2 alien powers per player. You're basically attacking each other, negotiating with one another, and it's a fun game. Some people don't like it. Some people hate the game, but I really enjoy it. And this is one of those games that you'll find die-hard fans for. There's a blog on the internet that all it does is talk about Cosmic Encounter. There's sites that talk about different variants, different things for Cosmic Encounter. Cosmic Encounter is just one of those games that just draws in fans, and it's one that I really, really appreciate. And so, again, while I try to keep my Hasbro game here, I'm not playing it right now because I'm kind of waiting for the new version. I don't want to get too attached to this version, but this is my hybrid version with painted pieces and with the Mayfair stuff thrown inside. I really do enjoy it, and it's my number 5. Number 4. Now, this one is more than one game. But in this one, I don't feel like I cheated. Here we go. It's a series of games. The Ticket to Ride. Hey, look! Ticket to Ride dice. What? Ticket to Ride game. We have the Europe version. We have the original version. We have the Markland version. And we have the Nordic countries. And then inside here, I have the Switzerland. There's the computer game version. And why is Ticket to Ride so high on my list? When it's a simple game, it doesn't offer necessarily the same variety that Cosmic and Memoir and the 3 games that are higher than it, numbers 1 through 3 do. So why is Ticket to Ride on my list? The answer is simple. I just play it all the time. I play Ticket to Ride at least 30, 40 times a year, and that's with someone with a collection of games, this many games. I play it with my daughters. I play it with my wife. I'm constantly playing it. It's an easy game. Plays between 2 and 5 players, at least a few of the versions do. The Switzerland and Nordic countries only handle up to 3 players. But it seems I could sit down and play it with my wife, and it's loads of fun. I could sit down and play with 4 die-hard gamers, and I have a great time. I can teach it to 4 people who've never played it before, and we have a fantastic time. Alan Moon just made a tremendous game here. I've met very few people in my life who dislike the game, and a few of them I suspect dislike it just because it makes them look, it's, oh, look, he doesn't like Ticket to Ride. But this game, it takes some of the basic characteristics of Rummy, applies them to a board game, applies the whole sending trains all over the country, and just comes together in an amazing game. The 4 games, it's hard for me to say which one of the 4 is my favorite. I don't know, I really like the original game with the 1910 card expansion, but Markland also appeals to me with its passenger delivery. Europe is one of the tightest, although also one of the easiest for new players to play. And then the Nordic and Switzerland games are just pure evil. The new Ticket to Ride dice expansion allows you to roll dice instead of placing the cards. I've only played it a few times, so I'm not really ready to make a complete recommendation for or against it yet, although I'm kind of wavering on it. It takes away some of the most fun parts I have with the game, but it's still, this whole family together of Ticket to Ride games is just fantastic. Just a really good series of games. These are games I will never get rid of, the Ticket to Ride games, ever, because they just work well in every situation, from church to youth groups to schools to the inside of a gaming central with trolls and goblin dressed up like people everywhere. You'll still find people playing Ticket to Ride. It is a truly great game, and yet there's 3 games that are better. What are those 3 games? Well, we'll talk about those next time. Until then, I'm Tom Vassell, and this is Holly. We'll see you guys next time. Can you say goodbye?